Welcome back, TGIF, everybody. We are live this morning from the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas at the SALT Conference. Weak retail earnings this morning adding to market volatility this week. But the April retail sales number was actually better than expected. It was up 1.3%. That was better than the 0.8% that analysts were looking for. I want to get the latest on markets and talk about SALT with Anthony Scaramucci, SkyBridge Capital founder, host of the SALT Conference, and a new member of Donald Trump's National Campaign Finance Committee. Anthony, congratulations.
Marie,
what a conference.
Hey, well, thanks for being here. Thanks for getting up at 3 a.m. West Coast time to do your show.
Absolutely.
Loving you for that.
But let me ask you, how much money would you estimate is here? I mean, you've got the biggest of the big, not to mention stars like Ron Howard.
I would say U.S., European, we're over $1 trillion in assets, but we have also Chinese Investment Corp here. Remember, they've got about 1.7 trillion. So I would say all told, we're somewhere in the 2.5 to 3 trillion in assets here represented.
Congratulations. That's unbelievable.
And so that's a big reason why you're drawing a lot of high-profile hedge fund managers, some of which you and I had dinner with last night.
Yeah.
But it's also a great opportunity for people to interact with each other, to learn from each other and bond with each other.
Caitlyn Jenner is also here, and I was really interested in hearing her thoughts on this bathroom controversy that's going on.
First of all, just a beautiful, sweet person. You know, Maria and I had the opportunity to have dinner with her last night, and she told us about her recognition of who she is and her discovery and the courage to represent herself as she really is, her true self. And
so, unbelievable.
So I thought it was really moving. And I will say that I give her a lot of credit about this bathroom controversy in North Carolina. I personally think it's ridiculous. I've spent the last 15 years working on human rights and gender equality, but also a recognition of allowing people to live their authentic self. This is one thing I disagree with some of my fellow Republicans. Everybody's for a smaller government, except in our bedrooms, Maria. They want a larger government in our bedrooms and our bathrooms. And guys, this is sort of ridiculous, so let's knock it out. Let
me ask you about the Donald Trump campaign, because you joined Donald Trump's Campaign Finance Committee.
I did.
And do you think the Republican Party is going to coalesce around him?
I do. I think they had a really good meeting yesterday. I know you've been reporting about it all morning. Paul Ryan is a terrific person and a great leader, and he said something I think is super meaningful. I don't want sugar-coated unity. I want a real unity. And I think Donald Trump is a deal maker, and so he is synthesizing now. Scott Brown, who was at dinner with you and I last night, we spent 90 minutes with candidate Trump at Trump Tower about a week ago. Very spirited conversation. He wants smart people around him. He hired Steve Mnuchin, who I think is an all-star talented person. He can play any position, Steve Mnuchin.
What does he need, like $1 billion to raise? How's the campaign fundraising going? I mean, how much does Donald Trump need?
Well, I think he needs $500 million. When Donald and I were talking about it, I said it's $500 million. I gave him the reasons why. Steve set a goal of $1 billion. And so, listen, we're going to do everything we can to get to that $1 billion number. That's what Governor Romney and President Obama raised last year and spent.
Look, speaking
2012.
Speaking of big money, you got a big guest on Wall Street Week this weekend, Larry Summers. I saw him walking around the conference as well.
Not going to be the economic advisor for Donald Trump, I don't think, Larry. But Larry is a super smart guy. We love having him around.
And the interview focuses on, obviously, the economy and the politics.
Yeah, you know, he threw some Democratic talking points in there about the campaign. But what Larry is onto is a theme called secular stagnation, Maria, where you're seeing these GDP numbers. We can't get a print higher than 1.5 or 2%. And he thinks that has to do with the way the whole world is set up from a disinflationary/deflationary point of view. And there's not a lot that the Federal Reserve can do. However, what Steve Moore and you were talking about a few minutes ago, or maybe a half hour ago, that would be super explosive for the United States, and it would end the specter of deflation.
Well, he's taking down tax rates considerably, and you have to believe that that's going to be a big market catalyst. I certainly believe that. What are your takeaways from this conference? What are hedge fund managers, big investors who've got capital on the line, how are they allocating
Pessimism. Hedge fund managers right now are pessimistic. They're getting beat up because they've got bad performance.
They haven't had good performance.
They've got bad performance, and they have high fees, and so that's a really bad combination. And so we should have had some psychiatry couches here in this lounge back here, but we didn't because there's a lot of guys out here that are upset and pessimistic. So I think that's a bullish counter-indicator, Maria.
Yeah. So you think because they're so pessimistic, markets go up?
Yes, because there's a lot of cash on the sidelines. We're talking about 2.7 trillion represented here. Very defensive positions for many of these people. And so good news coming. would be terrific for markets, I think. Any incremental good news will be positive.
Yeah, for sure.
Any clarity on the election would be positive.
That's for sure. In 6 months, we'll get real clarity.
No doubt.
Congratulations, Anthony.
Oh, hey, but you're terrific for being here.
Wow. I'm
Go
thrilled
Fox
to be with
Business.
you.
Go Fox
Woo!
Business.
Go Fox Business.
Amen.
No wonder the ratings are soaring and we're beating the competition. Anthony Scaramucci, you can